Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Earth was cut in a perfect half? A startling thought, isn't it? But that's precisely what we're here to explore today. We're setting out on a journey through the realms of science, dipping our toes into the waters of physics and astronomy to uncover the consequences of such a cataclysmic event. Now, before you start to panic, rest assured, we're not planning on slicing the planet anytime soon. This is purely hypothetical. And don't worry if you're not a science buff. We'll break down everything into bite-sized, easy-to-understand pieces. We're going to delve into the effects of this event on the Earth's structure, its gravitational pull, and even what it could mean for life as we know it. It's going to be an exhilarating ride through the cosmos, so buckle up. So let's dive into the science behind this apocalyptic scenario. To understand what would happen, you first need to know a bit about Earth's structure and gravity. Our planet is composed of several layers, each playing a crucial role in keeping life as we know it ticking. On the outside, we have the crust, a thin, brittle outer shell that you and I call home. Below that, we encounter the mantle, a thick composite layer of hot, flowing rock. If you've ever seen lava spewing out of a volcano, you've seen mantle material. It's this layer that's responsible for the tectonic activity that shapes our continents and causes earthquakes. Further down, we hit the outer core, a sea of molten iron and nickel. This churning metallic ocean generates Earth's magnetic field, protecting us from harmful solar radiation. At the very center, we find the inner core, a solid ball of iron and nickel heated to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Now, let's talk about gravity. This invisible force is what keeps us grounded, literally. It pulls everything towards the center of the Earth. The denser the object, the stronger its gravitational pull. That's why Earth, with its dense core, has a much stronger gravitational field than, say, the Moon. So, what would happen if we sliced Earth in two? Well, initially, gravity would pull the two halves back together. If the cut is perfect, the two halves would merge back almost instantly, with a cataclysmic release of energy. But let's say we could magically hold the halves apart. In that case, gravity would pull everything, including the oceans and the atmosphere, towards the new centers of the halves. This means that the edges of the halves would become barren, exposed to space, while the centers would become increasingly dense and hot. It would be a dramatic reshaping of the world as we know it. But that's not all. The effects of such a cataclysmic event would reach far beyond gravity. So, we've talked about how gravity would react. But what about the rest of the planet? Let's delve into that. When you slice an apple in half, what happens? The inside is exposed to the air and it begins to oxidize. Now, of course, Earth isn't an apple, but the principle holds. The moment our planet is halved, the interior is exposed. And this is where things get a little more than interesting. You see, our planet is a bit like a layered cake. The crust, the part we live on, is the thinnest layer. Beneath that is the mantle, a thick layer of hot, semi-solid rock. And at the center of our planet is the core, which is divided into an outer core of liquid iron and nickel, and an inner core of solid iron and nickel. Now imagine suddenly releasing all that pressure built up inside. We'd likely experience massive earthquakes, far beyond anything we've ever recorded. The semi-solid mantle would begin to upwell, leading to volcanic eruptions that would dwarf even the most explosive ones we've seen in human history, but the effects wouldn't stop there. The Earth's magnetic field, which is generated by the flow of liquid iron in the outer core, would likely disappear. This magnetic field is our planet's first line of defense against harmful solar radiation. Without it, the surface of the planet would be exposed to these high-energy particles. And what about our atmosphere? It's kept in place by the pull of Earth's gravity. But with the Earth's mass suddenly halved, the atmosphere could start leaking into space. We'd potentially lose a significant portion of it, which would drastically change the climate and make it much harder for life as we know it to survive. With the Earth's surface in chaos and its protective shield gone, life as we know it would be in serious jeopardy. But what would life look like in such a drastically altered world? Well, that's a topic for our next scene. Given the catastrophic events we've discussed, you might be wondering, could life survive on a halved Earth? In the face of such extreme conditions, the resilience of life is indeed a question worth pondering. Microorganisms, the hardiest of all life forms, might just stand a chance. These tiny powerhouses have been discovered in some of Earth's most inhospitable environments, from the scalding vents of the ocean floor to the icy plains of Antarctica. So, it's not impossible that they could cling to existence on a severely altered Earth. However, for most life forms, the story is less hopeful. Humans and other complex organisms need a delicate balance of conditions to survive. The cataclysm of having the Earth would undoubtedly disrupt this balance, making survival highly unlikely. Our planet's rich biodiversity would be drastically reduced, if not completely wiped out. So while it's a fascinating thought experiment, let's hope the Earth stays in one piece. So, what have we learned about our hypothetical halved Earth? Well, for starters, slicing Earth in two would have profound effects on gravity. The planet's mass would be halved, leading to a decrease in gravitational pull. This would play havoc with everything from the tides to our body's physiological functions. The internal structure of Earth would also be drastically changed. Our planet's core, mantle, and crust would be exposed, leading to unimaginable seismic activities and a complete alteration of our geology. But perhaps most intriguingly, we pondered the question of life's survival. Despite the catastrophic changes, life, as it is shown time and again, might find a way. Microbial life, particularly, could adapt to such extreme conditions, starting anew in a world unlike anything we know. It's a wild ride, isn't it? But remember, it's all hypothetical, so go out and enjoy our whole beautiful planet while you can.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. That's all for Nifty Narration.